Welcome, parents, and thanks for joining this episode on cannabis and CBD, a topic that's everywhere right now. Between legalization, social media, and marketing that makes it look harmless, it's easy for teens and parents to get mixed messages. Today, we'll break down what's really happening with youth cannabis use, what CBD is and isn't, how these substances affect the teen brain, and how you can talk with your teen in a calm, factual way. Let's clear up the confusion together. Today, we have Teresa from Prevention Services at Coastal Horizons who's going to answer a few questions for us. So, the first question is, what's the difference between cannabis, marijuana, and CBD?
That is a great question. So, these terms are often used interchangeably, but they're not the same. Cannabis is the name of the plant. Marijuana usually refers to products from the plant that contain THC, the chemical that causes a high. And CBD, or cannabidiol, also comes from the cannabis plant, but doesn't cause intoxication. However, many CBD products are unregulated, meaning they might contain THC, pesticides, or other contaminants that aren't listed on the label.
How common is cannabis use among teens?
International surveys, about 1 in 6 high school students report using marijuana in the past month. Many more say they've tried it at least once. What's concerning is that about 1 in 3 teens believe marijuana is harmless, and that number keeps rising as legalization spreads. The truth is, just because something is legal for adults doesn't mean it's safe for the developing teen brain.
Why might a teen decide to use marijuana or CBD?
So there are a few common reasons. Some teens are curious or think it's natural, so it must be safe. Others use it to cope with anxiety, sleep issues, or stress. Social influence is big too. When they see peers or influencers promoting cannabis products, it normalizes use. The bottom line, most teens aren't using, but those who do often believe it's less risky than alcohol or vaping, which makes parent conversations even more important.
How does cannabis affect the teen brain?
THC, the main psychoactive chemical in marijuana, interferes with the parts of the brain that control memory, motivation, and decision making. During the teen years, the brain is still wiring and pruning connections, kind of like fine tuning a computer. Cannabis disrupts that process. Regular use can impact focus, learning, mood regulation, and school performance. Some teens experience anxiety or depression, especially with higher potency products.
Isn't cannabis safer than alcohol or other drugs?
So it's a myth that cannabis is harmless. Today's marijuana is much stronger than it used to be. THC levels can be 3 to 5 times higher than a generation ago. High doses can cause paranoia, panic attacks, or in rare cases, psychosis. And just like alcohol or nicotine, cannabis can be addictive, especially for young users. About 1 in 6 teens who use it regularly will likely develop a cannabis use disorder.
What about vaping THC or using edibles?
It's a good question. So, vaping THC has become very popular among youth because it's discreet and often odorless, but it's also riskier in some ways. There have been cases of severe lung injury linked to vaping cannabis oils, especially from unregulated or counterfeit products. Edibles can be just as dangerous because they take longer to feel. Teens might eat more, leading to an accidental overdose, which can cause vomiting, panic, or hallucinations.
What should a parent do if they find out their teen has been using marijuana or CBD?
So, first, take a breath and try to stay calm. Teens are more likely to open up if they don't feel judged. Make sure they're safe, then have a conversation when emotions have cooled down. Ask what led to the decision. Was it curiosity, stress, or peer pressure? Listen first, then share your concerns about health and safety. You can say something like, I care about your well being and I want to understand what's going on. From there, set clear expectations and boundaries. If it seems like your teen might be using marijuana regularly, don't hesitate to reach out to your pediatrician or a counselor for guidance.
Is CBD safe for teens?
So most CBD products are not regulated by the FDA, which means there's no guarantee about what's actually in them. Studies have found that some products labeled as pure CBD contain THC or other chemicals. There's also very little research on how CBD affects teens long term, so unless it's prescribed by a doctor for a specific medical reason, it's best for teens to avoid it.
How can parents help prevent cannabis use?
Prevention starts with communication. Talk early, talk often, and stay curious. Ask what your teen sees or hears at school or online. Set clear, no use expectations and explain why, not just because I said so. When teens understand that cannabis affects memory, focus, and mental health, they're more likely to make healthy choices. And remember, your opinion still matters. Teens who know their parents disapprove of cannabis use are far less likely to try it.
Thank you so much for sharing this valuable information with us today. Do you have any closing statements you'd like to leave us with?
Definitely. So, teens are growing up in a world with mixed messages about cannabis and CBD, but parents' voices still matter the most. You don't have to have every answer, you just need to keep showing up. When you lead with curiosity instead of criticism, you create trust. And that trust helps your teen make informed, healthy choices. Keep the door open, keep the boundaries clear, and remind them that their best life is one built on clarity, health, and purpose. Your influence is powerful, and it lasts longer than you think.